not in a philosophical, abstract sense, but in a deeply practical one. In a world suddenly overflowing with instant answers, questions have become more valuable than ever. We all sense it. AI is transforming the pace of work. It now produces plans, analysis, drafts, the prototypes we used to spend days or weeks or months building. We are experiencing a reversal. The old bottleneck was knowledge. Today, the new bottleneck is sense-making. Not can we get an answer, but can we understand the context well enough to ask the right question? This changes everything. Entrepreneurship and business in general is about action. We encourage decisiveness, we reward momentum, we celebrate building. If you think about it, action always rests on the implicit answer. This is the right thing to do. That mindset works beautifully when the world is stable. But when the world moves faster than our ability to make a sense of it, then the same action bias becomes a liability. Generative AI has multiplied answers. If you ask for a business plan, you get 3. If you ask for 10 ideas, you get 50. If you ask for a prototype, you get code. We do not suffer from a lack of answers. We suffer from an overabundance. Generative AI is appositely made to generate answers, and it does. Not all the answers are correct, we know about the hallucination effect, but there is no doubt that large language models are astonishingly good to create myriads of answers to any type of questions. So the main point becomes, what questions should we ask? This is where our human advantage begins to re-emerge. AI amplifies the questions that we bring to it. A shallow question leads to shallow output. A thoughtful question opens deeper insights. The shift is subtle but profound. Our biggest value today is in framing problems thoughtfully and revealing what truly matters before acting. But we know that leaning into inquiry comes with a challenge. We humans do not like uncertainty. We rush toward solid answers simply to escape discomfort. Entrepreneurs feel this intensely. We want movement, decisions, we want progress. Yet, some of the most important insights emerge in the pause, in the brief moment before the answer arrives. Learning to stay with the question just a little longer changes the quality of what comes next. This discomfort with not knowing is not only individual, it's cultural. In a classroom, I'm a teacher, so in a classroom, if I am the only one asking questions and my students are evaluated only based on their answers, then I create performers, not thinkers. In a company, if leaders only reward speed, productivity, and certainty, then employees learn that questioning is not safe. Psychological safety is often misunderstood as softness. It is actually the foundation that allows people to challenge assumptions, embrace intellectual discomfort, and think critically. How do we rebuild a culture where inquiry becomes normal, natural? A simple 3-stage intellectual movement. So 1 is why. We explore purpose and assumptions. Second stage, the what if stage. we expand the possibilities. And then the how stage, we return to action with more clarity. These three stages create a rhythm between reflection and execution that works beautifully in entrepreneurship, innovation, and learning as well. Let's start with the why. Too often, we answer the first why, the surface why I call it, and rush into problem solving. Asking why once is easy. Asking why twice is still manageable. But by the third why, people start shifting in their chairs. By the fourth, they feel very uncomfortable. And by the fifth why, everyone in the room, including us, wants to escape. Because insisting on why feels intrusive, it exposes assumptions, pushes past polite explanations, it forces people and ourselves to confront what we usually avoid. You can almost feel the tension, the awkwardness, the defensiveness, the sense that you are being a difficult person. And yet, that discomfort is the entire point. The fifth why, or further, not the first, is where the truth lives. It is the moment when the surface narrative collapses and the real structure of the problem finally appears. Everything after that, the creativity, the options, the action, flow naturally. Starting with why is not just a technique, it's a form of leadership, because it takes a certain courage and bravery to keep asking why when everyone else just wants to move on. Why do our customers behave differently than we expected? Why didn't we test our assumptions with real customers first? Why aren't our customers providing us with the feedback we want? At least 5 layers of why change completely our understanding of the problem and therefore radically change the solution. Then it comes the what if. What if is the space where imagination becomes legitimate. What if questions broaden our thinking, allowing us to imagine possibilities that do not emerge from linear analysis alone? What if the constraint we think as fixed is actually flexible? What if the solution is not a new product, but a shift in our customer behavior? What if we can simulate our customer behavior with artificial intelligence? So this stage, the what if stage, invites curiosity before commitment. And AI can support this exploration beautifully when guided by meaningful what ifs. And eventually, we return to how, where we explore action and how to make things happen. Because inquiry without action is just speculation. And we are entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurship is ultimately about building. So when how comes after a deep why and braver what if questions, execution changes in quality. It becomes more intellectual, less wasteful, more aligned with real problems, and paradoxically, faster. How questions may sound like, how can we test this idea with the smallest possible experiment? How can we make it safer for our people, our employees, our team to speak honestly? Or how can we expand internationally without losing our culture? AI accelerates execution, but through this questioning process, humans remain responsible for shaping direction. So let me bring this whole idea of questioning back into the world of generative AI, because this is where questioning becomes incredibly concrete. A large language model is essentially a reservoir of every possible answer. It can produce thousands of ideas, strategies, plans, explanations in few seconds. But the quality of what it produces depends entirely on the question you give it. When we prompt AI, we are not telling it what to do. We are framing the problem we want to explore, which means that prompting is nothing more than questioning made explicit. Every time we prompt artificial intelligence, we are confronted with our own clarity or the lack of clarity about the scenario. And this is why the questioning framework, the why, what if, and how, matters today more than ever. AI does not make us better thinkers. It simply makes us more exposed thinkers. If our questions are vague, our thinking becomes vague. If our questions are precise, then our thinking becomes precise and focused as well. If our questions are courageous, our exploration becomes courageous. So prompting is not a technical skill again. It is a cognitive skill. It is a leadership skill. It is the modern expression of inquiry. The better we become at asking why, what if, and how, the better we become at using AI tools. Not as answer machines, but as partners in deeper thinking. So here is where we arrive, and I conclude. Artificial intelligence has changed the economics of answers, but it has not changed the human work of meaning-making. Our role as humans, entrepreneurs, educators, and leaders is not to compete with artificial intelligence and machines on speed. That is impossible. Our role is to ask the kinds of questions that give speed its direction. Entrepreneurship is still about action, but now the quality of our action depends more than ever on the depth of our inquiry. So I leave you with one final question for yourselves. If artificial intelligence accelerates everything, what is the one question you will use to make sure that you are accelerating in the right direction? Thank you very much. Here I'm putting some books in case you are passionate readers as I am. These are very interesting and they are exactly on the topic of questioning. Thank you very much.